since I see that I'm struggling on YouTube, I'm struggling streaming, I'm finna go on and cut YouTube off. We finna go on and cut this short. What's up with you, baby? Hold on. I think my phone messing up because I don't hear no sound. Hold on.
What up?
There you go. There you go. Now we working stuff. Now we working. You coming in and out. But now I got you though. Let me see if I can run you through somewhere else. Can you hear me?
Yep, I got you.
Good. So I know you all part of the PSA and the Shooting and all that stuff. So you hear me talking about dying, just you recognize who this lady is. I respect it and everything, but I don't know if you actually sat and watched that video with Documentary TV.
I'm Diane Jessup. I live up here in Washington State, and I had pit bulls, I don't know, 30 years or so.
But it's the one I had up. It's the one I was trying to do a little live shoot from it, but I was having problems with my internet service through YouTube, so I just crashed it. But I was listening to her talk, and when she was chopping it up with him, she was pretty much saying how John Colby was part of the good people back in the Gap. She helped him write his book. She helped him do all his what was that? She helped him do she helped him out in life when he was toward the end of his life. She was helping him become no kind of what he is right now. But let me see if I can find it. She was helping him out, putting him on. And I was listening to her talk of how she speak about it. There's nothing wrong with giving nobody props. But I was listening to when she was talking about how it was cool what he was doing. I'm assuming it's because it was back in the Gap. I'm assuming. But later on in the video, I heard her sit and talk about how the animals are being handled and dealt with today, mostly in the inner city. And I was able to capture that little term she used earlier, which was the good old boys, which was Kobe, them, Heinz, all them. She used that term with them. And when I was able to capture that with what she was saying, I was pretty much I recognized what she was saying and what she was doing, because like I said before, I like the period based off of the fact that she had a Pitbull. It was on TV. Well, it was on the movies. And I seen his ass on one of the movies I liked. And I liked him just off of that alone. It wasn't even nothing else. It was just because of that damn dog. I liked the movie. Plus, McCullough's pretty good in that movie too.
So Kobe was forced by court order to get his dogs out into a public light. That's what she helped him on. Like changing the image of his dog from wall dogs to, you know what I'm saying, more right. suitable to do anything, right? So she took game breeders from that era and took their blood, because again she had that badge, so she was able to take dogs, you know what I'm real, like literally take dogs and show a different aspect. So she really a plant that turned out for the better of the breed on a positive end, you know what I'm saying? So she's not like a lot of the people who took the breed and then shamed the breed or downed the breed or tried to off the breed. She took the breed and then took it into a new light.
Oh yeah. I mean, she put it on. She put it on, and she put everybody else on with her too. I will give her that. I liked how it was all put together, but it doesn't take away from the fact that I was able to recognize what she was saying. Because when it came down to the urban community or the hoods or whatnot, she was cool with them. Like she understands them. This is why I respect what she's done and what she fucked with. Like she understands it. It's not like somebody new today who's sitting there they got their little pit bull and they want that dog to be a couch potato. And it's probably majority of people who got them dogs, they usually probably got something that's probably like a pound dog. But anybody who fucking with something that's of some shit that's bred a certain way, they know exactly what they dealing with. And so they know how to handle them. But the regular general public, they'll fuck around and have them dogs feeling like they should just be a couch potato, which is exactly what they ain't. And so when she comes through, I liked what she was able to do, and I liked how she was putting it together, because it was it made a better light for everything. But a lot of people had no idea. I knew this back in the game. I mean, my partner knew this here. But a lot of folks had no idea that this chick was actually an animal control officer. So that's a double-edged sword in itself. That's a real double-edged sword in itself, because outside of knowing what they are, it can she knows certain type of looks and quirks to look for in certain shit, because she's been around it. And even though she may not participate in it, I have no idea. She knows exactly what this shit look like. She knows exactly what this shit look like. And so since she knows what it look like, it makes it.
She a plant, bro. She a plant.
You damn right about that, boy. You damn right about that. Because
she's too knowledgeable, and for the era that she was in, she was overexposed to it, and she in the wrong hands with the exposure. You know what I'm saying? So when I say the wrong hands, she in the right hands, but you know what I'm saying? She looking, she the right one to do it. You know what I'm saying?
It can't get no better.
It's a lady here in Detroit who worked for animal control, and she completely opposite from Diane Jessup, right?
Who?
Is she here in Detroit?
Oh, okay.
She completely opposite, but she works for the Humane Society, but she don't want the breed. She don't like the breed. She don't advocate for the breed. You know what I'm saying? She just want it to be eradicated. So it's like opposite forces. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Where Diane is like, no, I'm glad you got these dogs. Use these dogs for this, and that. Just like a lot of people don't know, Kobe's nephew got killed. You know what I'm saying? By his own dogs.
The little baby. He got. It was a man biter. Matter of fact, yeah. I think that was in Dallas. They wound up sweeping that under the rug because they knew each other. He knew either the sheriff or the mayor. They wound up sweeping that under the rug to get everything situated. But yeah, I forgot what dog it was. It was one of his dogs. I forgot how it was bred. I forgot how them dogs were bred. But it was one of his dogs wound up snatching up his little nephew or whatnot because he was out in the yard, got too close to one of the man biters. Yeah. Damn, I almost forgot about that, boy. Let me see here. Let me see. So if we have it, how can I find this one? I guess you can't.
Okay, for 2 weeks. I won't tell them nothing.
I guess you can't. No.
Breeze.
When I was checking out her video, it had reminded me of another cat. Now he was on I want to say this was probably last year. He was on YouTube, a little white dude. His name was Maino Corso or something like that. Either way it go, he wound up kicking up a big little stir, a big little stir, because I wound up doing a small video about it, because it was another cat had wound up addressing him. And I was listening to this little dude talk on his live. He was saying how he likes the Pitbulls and he likes to listen to old veterans. Good old boys out let's call them old veterans. He likes to listen to them and speak about what they know and what they done to help out him with what he do. And so he was going on all these other little channels, the little Pitbull channels and whatnot. He was going on their podcast, listening to them, and they was giving out insight, because a couple of them had a couple of old folks who was doing what they was doing back in the gap. And when he ended up hopping on there, it was another one. Well, you fuck a bulldog. You know Buck City, right? Well, when he wound up getting jammed up or whatnot, this little white dude made a video about him, because it was a YouTube channel that he follows had did an interview with Buck City back then, and the dude was like, man, if you're going to interview him, I can't be associated with you. Which I understand when somebody do that, but the hypocrisy and what I don't respect is that it's the how can I say, not necessarily the culture vulture, it's the taking from the culture what you want and then discarding it like it don't mean nothing, like it don't matter. So pretty much he was going to all these channels and YouTube spots, listening to what older people done in like the 90s, the 80s, '70s or even the 2000s. He was taking heed to what they were saying and what they were doing, taking their knowledge, taking it, bringing it back to what he had, to what he know, and he learned from them. And outside of learning from them, I guess he called himself trying to be like an authority figure for it. Maybe, maybe not. But once he noticed that the people who were still, they wasn't active, but they were still amongst people who was active, a little bit recently, let's say maybe 10 years ago. Once he started recognizing that they were still amongst a certain crowd, he decided, I don't want to be around y'all, I don't want to talk to y'all, and started talking down. Now, I don't mind you not being around, but when you talking down on the hand that feeds you, that shit pissed me off. Like, man, you shouldn't do this here. What's up, Blueprint? You shouldn't talk down on the folks who was helping you out because you find out they do something you don't like. At the age I am, pretty much, you wind up screwing me like that, I just don't bother you no more. I'm not finna talk shit about it, especially if you help me out. If you gave me some information I didn't know, and I find out that you out here running stop signs and running over squirrels, I ain't gonna really fuck with you like that, man. That ain't nothing too bad, but that ain't really my cup of tea. But before I found out you was running stop signs and running over squirrels, I was learning how to change my tire. Or I was learning how to pop wheelies in my motorcycle. Like, you was teaching me something. So even though I don't like you, I respect you enough to just say, I'm just gonna move around. I ain't gonna talk bad about you, especially if you talk bad about me. I ain't gonna say nothing bad about you. But this cat here, he wanted to just going left on the individuals. I think it was 7A Sports TV. They on YouTube. Right? He pretty much went on there. I can't hear you.
I said, I know that page.
Yeah. So he pretty much went on there to pretty much just bad mouthing them and everybody that watches that channel. I seen them a couple of times. I know they fuck with dogs and they fuck with boxing. So I understand the correlation of what they do on their page there. And the people they brought on, I done read about them in old magazines. So I understood what was happening. This dude here, apparently, I'm guessing he must have been a tree hugger, or he must didn't know nothing about dogs enough to where once he found out that it was a person who was actually getting indicted at that particular time was on this channel, he felt so disgusted he wanted to speak out. And I'm thinking to myself, you do know that a lot of other people that's on this exact same channel that you listen and learning from, they just haven't been in trouble before, or maybe ever. But you're the same information you getting from the folks who ain't never gotten to no shit is the exact same information that you would have got or probably have gotten from this person who done got indicted. It's the same damn thing. And so when he was throwing up his little spiel about it, I heard him sit and say, well, back in the gap, when the good old boys were doing what they were doing, that is what it is. But now the little thugs and the little thugs in the urban community, it ain't the same no more.
It's changed from some good old boys out in the country to an urban thing.
And I was like, man, like I got sensitive ears any damn way. I can recognize when you running into me. I can recognize it, period. But to hear it on YouTube, and for nobody to call that out at that particular time, I'm like, man, I'm just making a damn video about this, man. Fuck it. And when I went to go make the video, the little dude who had made it, who had made his initial video at first, he scrubbed the video. Like, it's either private or it's unlisted. Luckily for me, at that particular time, I snatched the video. I snatched it back then because I made a little rebuttal of it way back then. And so when I had went back a couple of days ago, I was gonna do a little more tweaking to it. The video was gone. Like, shit, what happened to the video? So when I found it in my archives, I was able to go through and piece it back a little bit here and there. And so I was trying to do a damn live, but that ain't gonna work. So I'm just having to make a video about the comparison of what Diane Jessup was saying with the good old boys to this dude here talking about the good old boys, and let the public know what that is. Because just talking,
it's the people that made the breed that everybody loves.
Yeah, and it ain't no stigma on the people who made it. It's a stigma on the people who use it, which is wild. Like, man, how you go, like how they sit and tell you in the rap song, man, niggas ain't got
no. What it is? I ain't gonna lie. You know what it is? It's just like this right here.
It's just like that. It's just like that.
when this was a crime and frowned upon, to have this was taboo, right?
Yeah.
But now that it's legal, it's like shit. It ain't shit. So this is reversed to criminalize.
Who had to pay the way for it to come out that way? Who had to pay the way for it to be cool? Right? Not even cool. So it to be legal to do what you're doing. Niggas had to sit here and pave the way so that the dominant society can come out here and make profit off of this shit. I told people a long time back in the gap, like I don't even smoke weed or whatnot. But I told them if I ever did, I wouldn't ever get nothing legally. Like I know folks who went to, I know a few cats I went to school with and grew up with. They had to sit down for that shit. And so for now, anybody can have it. You actually get it's taxable. Like man, I would never buy nothing from no dispensary. That's just me personally. It's a moral compass. Like man, I would never do that, man. Just because I know what it took for it to get here, and I know the cats who paved the way unknowingly to make it this way here. So I would always, if I needed to, I just do this shit from the street, man. I go find somebody in the street who got it and get it. If I want to do, like I said, I don't smoke it, but
no, for sure. I still do it the same way, like you just said. I'm still in the street. But it's just the reverse. So at the time, those people, those men, those gentlemen, it's all of that. Right, those people were allotted that allowance. Even back then, we were allotted that allowance. It wasn't frowned upon. You know what I'm saying? It was just those, they had the property, and they had the inner connect. You know what I'm saying? The inner web where they kept their shit within each other. Your black ass, my black ass, we all could have went down to P. Sparks and grabbed a dog. You know what I'm saying? But we probably couldn't have went to Mayfield Yard and grabbed a dog. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, for what it was, we probably, if we had the money, we could have went to anybody, yo. Because, I mean, white folks and black folks, like, we know each other so damn well. Like, we know each other. White folks know our weaknesses. Black folks know they know white folks' weaknesses. White folks know that black people want to be a part of something. Black folks know white people want money. So we pretty much would trick off to each other's special needs or whatnot.
Way that you hired, yeah.
Yeah, so
I only need you this much, and that's how much we both give each other.
And that's exactly how that's exactly how it's done. And so once you have an understanding of how that's put together, you don't really sweat nothing else too much. Cause I remember back in the Gap, and I don't know if it go on there because I ain't bought a dog in so long. But I remember older cats when I was younger, they'll sit and say, "I'm finna go to I remember Lacefield. I remember Hammonds. I remember Hall. I remember all of the little bigger name people. This was like in like the mid-90s, like the mid-90s. They say, I'm finna go out here and go buy a dog from them, but I don't want the dogs they got up at the front. I want the ones they got in the back. And I'm thinking to myself, why the fuck you want a dog way in the back? You're like, no. The dogs in the front, those were the dogs for the public that they didn't really care about. But the ones in the back, those were the dogs for their friends. That they was gonna make sure that them dogs were the good ones to give out to their friends, and so they would go down there to wherever it was. They would go down there, go buy whatever they was looking for, and whoever the breeder was, they'll sit and show them the whole property of whatever and all the dogs, and they'll sit and tell them, I don't want none of these dogs up here. I want what you got, behind this particular fence or behind this other stuff, and they'll sit and tell them, oh son, that's gonna cost a little bit. Little dudes come out there with the money. I got the little bit. Let's go. Once they see the money, oh, well, come on back here then, buddy. Come on back here. And they show them what they're looking for.
We learned this trick from them. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. It's called the pup in the listen. It's a pup in the kennel trick. It come from them. It's whatever they got up front that they done separated is what you want because that's what they chose themselves. So I don't want the shit in the yard, bro. I want the shit that's in the house in the kennel.
Yeah, because I want what you like. Because that's the closest thing to your program that I can implement to make it mine.
But see, the trick of it is it doesn't matter. If I know you coming, I'ma just, what you coming for? A male or a female? I'm coming for a male. I'm gonna grab a male and throw that bitch in the kennel over here. And then when you, then when you be like, well, what's that? Well, that's the pit. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have to give me a little bit more for that. Then they're gonna give you a little bit more for that. Boom. The next motherfucker that come up, hey, what you coming for, a girl? I'm gonna grab a bitch and I'm gonna put her over here, and you're gonna be like, damn, what's that bitch over there? That bitch costs a little more, bro, and you gonna pay me. I learned that shit from them.
Dude, I made a whole video about that shit.
If you want to get a puppy and you want to get it from a specific breeder, you never reach out to that breeder and tell them what you're looking for. Instead, you ask them what they got available.
I made a whole video telling people, if you ever try to buy a dog from any breeder, period, don't never tell them what you want. I always ask them what they got. Because I done been around many people. I done been around
exactly what you asking for.
I have been around so many of them. So I'm like, man, this.
I'm going to convince you this is the one you asked me for. I'm going to convince you. It's their job. Oh, I need a dog to do this. Oh, yeah, he the one. Man, he do it. He's good. You just gotta train him.
That's all you gotta do. Now it doesn't matter what it's like. I know exactly what this is that you have, and I know if he gonna cut it or not, depending on the age. If you got a puppy, I can't tell you nothing else. If it's a puppy, shit, 50-50. But if you get the prospect that I done got my hands on already, yeah, I kind of know something. I kind of know something. If I've been able to fuck with this dog as a prospect, 12, 13, 15, 18, whatever months old it is, if he done been with me this long and I got my hands on him, if you coming to buy it, you finna pay for my time. Like you finna pay for my, because I already by the time they that age, I ain't getting rid of shit.
Okay, question.
Go ahead.
Speaking on the good old boys, right?
All right.
When we speaking of bloodlines, and I say Kobe,
okay.
Then I say Jeep. What is the difference in the bloodline?
Well, if you're saying Kobe and you say Jeep, that's pretty much, Jeep is a Kobe dog / Eli dog. And basically what that is, how they made that particular animal was whatever the best of this Kobe dog that male was, which was Finley Bow, when they stuck him in the Honey Bunch, which was the Carver dog, pretty much that was just a daughter Bullison.
Hold on, time right there. So if I said bloodline was, if I told you my bloodline was Kobe Carver, right? Is a bloodline based off the breeder's persuasion, or is it based off the dog Jeep?
That's like a personal preference for somebody of how they do it. So I would say that it's a bloodline because I know what I'm looking at. But somebody else would probably sit and say, no, it's the breeder, because they may see it a little bit differently. Now, me personally, I know they're wrong, but I'm not finna fight nobody. I don't give a shit. But I see that. I was having
a conversation with somebody on live the other day, and they kept telling me, no, the bloodline is based off, and I think they have the bloodline and lineage confused, right? Because if I say a bloodline, if I say a Kobe, what dog's off of Kobe, right? It could be any dog. It's off a breeder's persuasion. It's any dog. You see what I'm saying? So if I said it's a Kobe dog, that's the bloodline. I don't know what dog. It come off of Kobe, the man. If I say a Carver, it come off. I don't know what dog. Carver made Bolio. Now, if you said Bolio, now you're telling me about a family of dogs. Yeah. Now we can pinpoint. But when you say bloodline, I'm looking at the breeder. Yeah, I'm looking at the breeder persuasion. Like if I said this is a K9, this is a ProSeeds dog, or designer working dog, I'm gonna be, oh, okay. I don't know what dogs it come off of. Yeah. I know it's your type. I know it's your look. I know what to get. I know what I'm gonna get fucking with the ProSeeds line. Now, when I come to the ProSeeds, I'm gonna be like, hey, what family of dogs we just come off of? You're gonna say, oh, this breed and that breed. Right. Because I asked him, so is Carver a bloodline? He's like, yeah. Well, is Bolio a bloodline? Like, yeah. Bolio can't be. Bolio's a family of dogs because Carver created Bolio. What? So Bolio's not a Bolio dog.
Okay, so you see what I'm saying? Okay, I do say you kind of confused me almost. You're saying Bolio not a family dog, but Bolio from Bolio, it's a line of dogs. But
it's a family of dogs off of Bolio. But Bolio is a Carver dog.
He was created. Yeah, he was created. No, he was he was pretty much mashed up and made as to what he was. So the individual, like the specific animal, probably is not a bloodline, but other people saw that dog and they decided to
a family, a gene pool off of those dogs. And so that's what I'm saying. Before the good old boys were parted through 1976, right? When they had this, before that, your bloodline was based off your yard. So if I wanted to, it wasn't Eli, it was Boudreaux.
Right.
We were going to get an Eli dog. It wasn't until after dog fighting was illegal that now we want to pinpoint exactly where our dog's coming from.
Correct.
You see what I'm saying? Before, we didn't care. If we assumed it was Boudreaux, we assumed it was Eli or Mountain Man. You see what I'm saying?
You just assumed it was whatever dog that you seen that he was saying, no, this is X, Y, and Z. It wasn't until somebody decided to specifically pinpoint.
Right. So if I said I got a Mountain Man dog, I might not have Homer dogs. You see what I'm saying? But
it might be balls.
So when I say bloodline, I'm saying like Hall. If I say Bobby Hall, I don't know exactly what dog Hall gonna pop off with this breeding, but I got Hall blood. That means I'm running off a man's yard.
No. Then when you go into a hall, that's specifically bullisome. Like that dude stayed. He stayed
but
in the
how he bred. You see what I'm saying? But I'm talking about the individual dogs. You know the family of dog and the family of blood he used. But it could be Sally, Sue, and Tim. Those dogs were granddaughters or grandsons of off of book. You know he bred it tight. You know you don't care how it's put up. You know what he coming with. You know he coming with this style or this type of dog.
Right. I know exactly what you mean in that. Hold on.
It was after. That's why you got so many people like, yeah, I got Red Boy, Tombstone, Bolio. You just telling me you got a whole bunch of.
Well, I mean, when those dogs are now a whole new line. Like those are like they a whole new meaning of what's happening. So you get you a Red Bull, Bolio, Tombstone dog, that's a whole new family. So instead of the individual dog, they created them all together to where them dogs are formidable right now. Like right now, them are some very formidable animals. I don't deal with none of them myself personally, but those are formidable animals who can pretty much perform to the tags that you want them to do if you're wanting them in that way. I let everybody know if you're trying to get you any type of dog that's bred a certain way, understand what it come from, and don't try to make it into something that it ain't. So pretty much, don't try to have a Mayday dog imitate what an Eli dog can do. Don't try to have a Bolio dog imitate what a Red Boy dog can do. Because those are all of them is different. It's almost like how me and you, we the same black, but we different. Like your line of black people, y'all may be 6 feet, consistently. My line of black people, we 6 feet every now and then. So I mean. And it would be fucked up if it was a chick who I date and she dated you too, and she expected me to make people with her, and all the kids gonna be 6 foot because she dealing with you, and she got 2 kids with you, and she know they gonna be 6 foot. Like baby, look at yours, maybe like 5'8", 5'9", like coming off of me. You might get a 6'3", but that's rare. It's rare. We could have 5 kids, one of them maybe 6'3", 6 foot, maybe. But the rest of them 5'8", 5'10", 5'9". We gonna be close. We ain't finna hit the 6 foot every single time. Unlike with you, y'all got 5 kids. It's 6 feet every single time. But she was probably like, you know what, man? No, they 6 feet, but I didn't want them. I didn't want them so hairy, or I want them with smaller feet, or whatever it was. And so she decided, I'm finna go talk to K9. He could probably get rid of some of the hair or get rid of some of the feet. Yeah, but you finna lose sight. So it's just, if you're wanting something specific, you need to know what you're trying to get and then stick to that. Don't be upset or
start with it. It's easier to just start with it. Keep shopping till you find like, that's what I like. Like that you produce that consistently, yeah. That mean this breeding gonna look like that, yeah. But
you gotta look at a lot of people who doing their shopping, they don't know what they shopping for. Like they're actually
like
they're buying. What?
You like the Mims blood? M-I-M-S?
Or the Red Bull blood? It's all right. Like I don't. Me personally, all the dogs that you see on my page, that's from Talon and Wesley. If you ever know what this, Wesley was pretty much a Frisco bred dog, heavy Chinaman dog. Talon was off of Wordjack. Like them is our animals. If you go look them up, Wesley, Mainline's Wesley, and I think Mainline's Black Talon. You look them up. Like that's everything we got coming down from them specifically. We don't budge. So this ain't no. I'm not a Chinaman. I like Chinaman, but I don't stick with Frisco or Jeep or none of that. I stick with the shit that we had from '02, and it's been working, and it worked to this day. And so when people give me other lines, like you can ask me about damn near all of them, I know of them, and I done had my hands on a few of them, but I never kept none. Like the Red Boy dogs, for me personally, I never kept them at all because I remember it's a person who ran the Red Boy line of dogs. Y'all never knew him, but his name was Joe Emerson. And I remember when we went to the spot, this dude had this was back in the early 2000s. This dude had like about 40 dogs. He had like 40 dogs. He came from the Carolinas down to Texas. He had like about 40 dogs, all in this little setup, nice ass setup too. All the dogs, it was a nice ass setup for back then. But I remember couple of cats from the hood was going there buying dogs from them and bringing them back. They was looking good. Like we seen them all. They looked nice. Their body structure was looking nice, and they was actually looking good for what they wanted them for. But what threw me from all Red Boy dogs was them, because every time they made a breeding with those dogs, and we seen like about 6 different breeds. Every time they made a breeding with them dogs, those Red Boy dogs genes took over every damn thing. And what they bred them dogs to, they bred them to some Golden shit, some Eli stuff, some Jeep shit, some Kobe shit. Like I know the Kobe blood personally when it's a good one. Like I know that shit when we've seen those dogs in real life. And if you got, I don't know what's happening today, but at that particular time, if you had a solidified Kobe dog, you pretty much had an indestructible animal. Those dogs were durable as fuck. And they got a certain type of look. Like, I don't know nobody who got no Kobe dogs now worth something. But I can sit and tell, I can recognize a specific Kobe dog from the brindle color. Because Kobe has a brindle color that no other dog.
That olive look.
Yeah, that olive look or that little salt and pepper. Whatever. It's that brindle nobody else got that. And hey, I got a couple of them back there right now, but they never look like that. But when you see that particular color in them dogs, I don't know how much Kobe in there, but I can tell it's something in there. It's usually full-blooded, but usually I can tell if you got this color brindle in your dog, there's some Kobe blood somewhere in here. But I seen the Red Boy dogs from this Edmondson dude. I saw his stuff took over everything. And when I see and say them dogs lost everything and gained only what he had, which was just tenacity, they lost everything else. And when I was seeing them puppies come up and how I seen their daddies or their mamas, and when they put the cross into it, they was looking like the Red Boy stuff. I knew that I don't ever want these dogs. I like them how everybody else got them, but I didn't ever want them dogs personally at all. I like how they look. They look nice. They do what they're supposed to do for everybody else, but it's a certain type of standard we got over here. They can't keep it up.
I asked somebody, they was talking all this Chinaman. I asked them, so who is Vinny? They said, huh?
A lot. You most likely talking to new people. Like I can sit and say, man, I'll be on your lives and a lot of other people's lives. Like a lot of the new people, they only know what they're shown just through their phone. They don't know nothing else. It's just their phone. And if they phone ain't telling them the information, they don't know where to go look for it for. Because I mean, for what it's worth, anybody fucking with dogs right now, I feel bad for them because it's so much information that's no longer being told. It's not even being sold no more. Like, they don't even make no more dog books. Like, they make no more Pitbull books. I remember when we was young.
Richard Stratton had hella books out.
Oh, hell yeah. He won't make nothing no more. He went through so much hell. When he was making, we got damn near every book he had. We got damn near every book he had. We have them over here. I'm looking at them now. Like we done had down there every Stratton book that he has made, and we done read them out, top to bottom. Got all the gazettes. Got a handful of journals. Like me, all that information, that historical information. At that time, we were just living in the moment. But now this historical information, nobody don't write about them dogs no more. So the newer generation, they get their information from Google, and Google is a SEO. It's a search engine. It's not accurate. Like if you can sit and type real good and put keywords in there, you gonna be the first one. And since you can be the first one, you can write whatever you want to write. Unlike when it was the books, they had to get published, and when they were getting published, the people who was publishing them had to go fact check a few of what they were saying to make sure
all that shit.
They publication reputation was on the line. So anybody write anything, they had to fact check.
I do want to do a book for a magazine, like an online magazine, but I don't know, bro. This shit. I want to do a stud book.
Of what?
All breeds, working breeds. I just want to put a stud book out here. I ain't seen a stud book in a minute, bro.
You can do that without a problem. That won't be an issue at all. Even if they're a working dog, like the Malinois, whatever. That would be. Matter of fact, I think that would be actually lucrative for anybody who is trying to find studs to breed to. Because me and my partner was sitting there talking about we could do something like that, but I was like, man, I don't want the headache gonna come with that.
I don't want the headache that come with that though. Because I know the headache that come with it. I applaud anybody who got the energy to put it together, but if I will launch it, it'd definitely be something that I know, and the qualifications would definitely be titles in anything. It's all performance. I don't care what your fucking title. It could be in dock diving. I don't care. I just want it could be in fly ball. I don't care. It just has to be in performance. You have to have an active dog. It can't just be. I'm not looking for the couch studs. Yeah, you got. It's a working stud book. So
yep. If you, I mean, I can see that working out. It's just the patience. It's the patience. Also, it's the having the understanding of trying to figure out, how do I verify this here? So I gotta be in your circle amongst your people who does this here, and I gotta find, I guess, like the leader of this to ask them, hey, what did Blue 22 do? Did Blue 22 actually retrieve every single ball at the bottom of this lake, for this competition? Honestly, and you got to see if they're gonna be real. Sometimes they could, sometimes they can't, and depending on you personally, depending on your ranking in the dog world, they may say yeah, they may say no. Because I mean, I've been amongst a bunch of good folks and bad folks. I said this before. When it's the new people coming into the game and they trying to get something, I've seen a lot of new people get fucked over, and I've been there at the yards. When they come to the yards looking for X amount of dogs, I know that dog ain't bred the way they say that it is. But the dude wanted so bad, and the cat wound up selling it to him. Now, I'm there looking like, man, that ain't how he is. But I'm not finna mess up this man her money. No, this man trying to spend his money, and this man trying to get his money. Now, long as the dude didn't give him some piece of shit, I don't have an issue with it. Now, it's a bunch of dogs that are bred incorrectly from what they papers say. But the people have them, and they love them dogs. I don't have an issue with nobody doing it that way. I just sit and tell all the new cats coming up, hey man, this is just part of the game, man. This is, if you don't know, you're gonna learn this way. Unfortunately, it's a necessary evil, because once you figure this out, you won't get screwed again unless you a duck, and you'll keep getting fucked. Because I mean, it happens. And it's a in my opinion, it's like a necessary evil, because it'll find out, do you really want to be in this here? Because you'll realize everybody ain't friends with you, everybody ain't cool, everybody ain't honest. Do you still want to be amongst these type of people? And if you still want to be amongst these type of people, do you have the skin? Do you have the thick skin enough to develop and be something better, or be what they are? Because if you cannot be with them or be like them, then all you finna do is get swallowed up. You can easily become them. Go ahead.
No, I'm saying you can easily become them.
Hell yeah. If you ain't got your head on right, you can become them. But what's even more wild, you'll become them and not knowing how to do it, you get your ass fucked up. Cause they got years of figuring this here out. You just hop in here and figure out, oh, I'm gonna take a quick shortcut. I'm gonna get this dog over here from the pound. It look like my dog's over here because they red with a red nose. This one red brindle with a red nose. I'm gonna get this here and I'm gonna set it off to me. And now if I'm coming and looking for this specific bloodline and I feel like I think this youngster don't know what he has and I'm finna get it, I come over there and get it. If I can recognize that you done fucked me either right then and there or a little bit later on down the road, I'm coming right back to you. Because if I got the money to come and get the dog, I got the money to come and see you. And a lot of people don't recognize, they think, a lot of cats online, they think like, man, I'm gonna sell this dog, 4, 5 states over. I tell everybody all the time, if that person has the money to buy that dog, that person also has the money to come and see you. So give them what they asking for. Because if not, unless you're ready for the hell that can come with that, you better just leave it alone. Because if you're not ready for the hell to come with it, man, give them what they want. Because I don't know too many folks who can pretty much handle that type of hell. I don't know too many folks who can handle that type of pressure from a fucking dog. A lot of people ain't built that way.
I got a friend of mine. When Grand Champion Art came up missing, right?
Okay.
He came up missing in Detroit. Motherfucker say it was 17 pickup. His mama told me before she passed, like 3 years ago. He told me this story about 7 years ago, right? When Grand Champion Art came up missing, he came up missing in Detroit. They said it was 17 pickup trucks full of the good old boys.
Yep.
Coming to find out.
They don't.
And it was coming to him because he was the you know what I'm saying, at the time he was
like, let me know what I can
where my dog at. Yep. He was already across the border to Canada though, but they came up.
I got a same story for that there. When I was young, remember I told you about if it's a good Kobe dog, no, the motherfucker indestructible. I remember his name was Clyde. His name was Champion Clyde. I remember when that white dog came to the city, came to the hood. They had this little white dog, Kobe dog. This motherfucker looked great. Like, there's no Kobe dog today that looked like this dog. He was just a working motherfucker. When they brought that dog to the city, you could already tell he done been through life. You could already sit and tell he done been through life.
Yeah, this is back in his 80s.
This was the 90s. This was the 90s I'm giving you. Yeah. And so when he showed up, we was all doing what we was doing. We knew who had the dog. We knew the person who had the dog. We knew he was a booster. We knew he was. What we didn't know was the white boys that came looking for that dog. Now, mind you, this is the hood. This is straight street shit, traps. This is all hood shit. You see some little country motherfuckers and some little brown and white, blue and white, and black and white pickup trucks, Fords, the metal boys. You see them riding through the hood, stopping at certain trap spots. What I was able to recognize, okay, for y'all to be down here, y'all have already been down here before. But even outside of being down here, y'all not scared of being out here. So this let me know y'all looking for something. And once I found when they were looking for this dog named Clyde, I didn't know he was a champion. But when I found when they were looking for this dog named Clyde, I'm like, I know exactly what this dog is. I seen him earlier. Them white boys stayed in the city for 2 weeks. And where they was moving around there, they was always 4 houses away from that dog. Always 4 houses away from. They never could find him. They had a bounty on this dude's head to get that dog. It was him and his daughter. They came to get them dogs, and they couldn't find them. They was 4 houses away from them dogs. And when I say to you, I seen them dogs my own 2 hours. Like those, that was a damn good representative of what a Kobe dog is. I see why them boys came there and looked for it. They raised hell. They almost started a little war in the city.
My mentor, I'm 37, so he probably like 52. 53 years old. He was 17 years old when that shit happened. He said his mama got the trip and had all these white men on her porch. She said I had all them white men on my porch. I said, God damn. She was like,
Man,
but he ain't had nothing to do with it. But Art ended up, they found him in Canada though.
yeah, I remember reading about that. I remember reading. He wasn't the same like how he was. They had already done what they do to him. They pretty much they rolled him out. But when they good like that, just imagine how many breeds they made to that dog that we know nothing about. Nothing about. It's them street dogs now. And I take that into consideration of knowing in the 90s, a street pit at that time used to be real formidable. I don't know what they is today. I think they're trash now. But at that
more bullies, yeah. Back then, a street dog would get down.
boy, they was hell. A street dog was hell for anybody. Matter of fact, those dogs are the reason a lot of people today carry over their words of, oh, you don't need no papers, man. A paper dog ain't shit. It's because they remember what the street pitch was. And they thinking that it's still the same thing from the 90s in 2023, which the whole layout has changed. The whole land field, the whole playing field is gone.
It's really no good breed. All the breeds are really shitty now.
I can't sit and say that because I mean every single breed that you seeing that's popularized right now, it's a duck off community of folks who actually have those dogs that they fucking with they not watered down. They are actually true to what they are. It's just you ain't finna see them no more because you everybody going off of what it was in the 2000s. But before that Falcon came through and fucked up the whole lay of the land and just blew shit out, it was a free for all. Like back in the gap, it was everywhere. Like it was everywhere. It was the underground had oh yeah. When that Falcon came through and flew in, look here, man, look here. But I'm trying to tell you, man, when he came and did what he done, it made everything else for what it's worth. I know it's fucked up, but it made a reset because it made the underground go back underground.